Back in 2001, I was born in Kenya, Kakuma refugee camp. My family moved here in November 2002. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was myself, my mom, my dad, and my brother Dominic and my sister Angelina. And we left behind three other siblings.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was not half of my family, but a majority of my family. And we moved to Fremantle, Perth for the first time when we arrived. I don't remember much of it, but from what my mom and my father have told me, it was a big transition. I remember my mom was telling me how they had a burger for the first time when they arrived in Australia and how interesting that was for her. But yeah, just hearing that, I was like, okay, a burger for the first time, that's a big, big event, I guess, for someone who hasn't really, seen that type of food or been in an environment where there's like a lot of different people, you know. But yeah, I think for my parents, it was a big transition, new country, new life. But I guess they were full of hope that their children would, live a safe and happy life. And yeah, after that, we moved around Australia and we found ourselves in Victoria. Lived in Melbourne for a while, then for the rest of the time, we lived in regional Victoria. That was interesting for sure.
Yeah. Before we get to where you were after Perth, I want to talk about Perth. Were you the youngest before you guys got here?
Yeah, I'm the youngest. I'm the baby of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had older siblings. How old is the oldest?
The oldest is 37.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And who are you most connected with out of your siblings?
Ooh. I would say I was very connected to my brother Dominic when we were younger.
And how old is he compared to you?
He's 25. And now I'm more connected with my sister Angelina because we lived together when I moved to Melbourne and she was kind of like my mom for that time. So yeah, I'd say my sister for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
And when you came here, because you were 1 year old, did you ever speak to your mum or parents or older siblings about what it was like in Kenya and what they experienced before you were born?
I mean, I would hear stories about like how very community orientated it was in that area and how people knew everyone knew who everyone was basically, especially in the different I think it was groups that they referred to. But yeah, I think they talked about having even moving here to Australia and still recognizing people from Kakuma and still having that community. I guess, that's something that they've talked a lot about. But I guess the biggest thing would also be just not feeling like they were living up to their potential or feeling like there wasn't a lot of hope moving out of that place.
Yeah. When you were sorry to interrupt, but when you were in Kenya, your parents moved there before you were born, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So where were they before that?
My mom said that they spent about 10 years in Ethiopia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've never had a guest that went through Ethiopia. I've had people that went to Kenya. I went up north and went to Egypt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never had anyone that went to Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, yeah.
When did that happen?
I don't know what years, but I know that my oldest brother was actually born there.
Oh, wow.
He is 33. He's 33 at the moment. So it would have been, I don't know my maths. But yeah, they lived there for a while before moving to Kakuma. So
What's your mom's favorite place that she's been to before she came here?
I feel like she might just say back home where she's from.
Yeah.
Because she talks about her homesickness quite a lot.
Right.
And just missing her family, I think, more so than just her reminiscing about her duties during the day and just being with her siblings because she had a very big family.
Same, yeah. My mom had a massive family.
Yeah, I think it was she's the youngest of 36 children.
Wow.
And
I was thinking 13, 14, but I think my mom had 14 siblings.
Yeah, my grandfather had 5 wives, so it was a very